What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And here on the channel, since the new year began, I started making dedicated gaming news videos, making a dedicated video to big news. The problem is there's a lot of small pieces of news that aren't worth their own video. So I figure maybe once every week or every couple of weeks, I'm going to do one of these roundups where we talk about a lot of the smaller stuff that we can fit into just one big video. So let's start off this week by talking about the much anticipated Kingdom Hearts 3, which has an 88 over at Metacritic with a user score of 8.4. It's pretty rare that you see those two scores that close together. Now, a lot of people have asked me, Boogie, should I purchase this game? And there's a lot of qualifiers for that. The first of which is, do you like action-based RPGs? If not, then you're probably going to want to skip this. Do you love Disney films? Then, if you don't, you're probably going to want to skip this. Do you like games with lots and lots of cutscenes? Otherwise, you might want to skip this game. A lot of people have asked me, Boogie, if I have not played Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, or any of these sub-games, can I play this game? And absolutely you can play it. And here's the thing, don't worry about being confused about the plot if you haven't played the previous games, because I've played almost all of the previous games, and I'm still confused by the plot. The plot doesn't make a lot of sense. It really doesn't. What does make sense is that this game is stupidly fun, and it's very, very deep. Ignoring the cutscenes if you want to for some reason, you can basically just grind in this game as an action-based JRPG with a ton of subsystems that you can dive into. And graphically, this game looks like almost no other game. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it doesn't matter if you're in the toy box hanging out with Buzz Lightyear, or if you're in Rapunzel's world, or if you're in Twilight Town, or you're hanging out with Hercules. It is a very unique, stylized feel, and the combat, while brief in points, definitely the boss fights are amazing. The individual combat is amazing as well, and it has all of these crazy over-the-top attacks where the Keyblades morph, or you're doing Disney-esque rides. It's just, wow, it's just visually very striking. It's a fun game to watch. It's even more fun to play. Now, I personally got about 12 hours on my review copy so far, and I don't even want to be filming this video. I just want to go play it right now, but I wanted to come and entertain you guys. But I will say, the closest game to compare it to is Final Fantasy 15. If you enjoyed Final Fantasy 15, there's a lot of similarities here. You're really going to enjoy it. But if you're fresh to the series and you're fresh to action-based JRPGs, I think it's worth it as long as you're a Disney fan. You're going to have a lot of fun. Now, I'm sure you've already heard about this, but I still want to talk about it. If you guys don't know this, Metroid Prime 4 has basically had its development cycle completely restarted. So this game was teased back at E3 2017, and then in 2018, this was completely devoid. We didn't hear anything about it. And this game was being developed by Bandai Namco. Well, Nintendo finally came out and said that they were unhappy with the work that Bandai Namco was doing. They decided to start over entirely and hand it to Retro Studios, which is the people that made the original Metroid Prime series to begin with. Now, this is depressing but unremarkable. This kind of thing happens in gaming all of the time. But what is remarkable about the story and makes it worth talking about a few weeks later after it's been announced is the way that Nintendo handled this. Nintendo basically created a video explaining the situation to fans and took a very personal approach, apologizing for it, saying that they wanted to fix it, and explaining what the delay was. And I really think that is the way it should be done. This is top-class stuff. This is the way Nintendo has always done this kind of thing, and I'm glad that they chose to do it this way, and I really think it sets a precedent for the rest of the industry. This is how this is done. And in that video, Nintendo basically said that it might be years before they can update you on this project again, because it's going to be years before it's released. But as depressing as that news is, thank you, Nintendo, for treating your customers with such respect in this regard. I hope you continue to do it, and I hope other people follow suit. Now, here's some really good news. This video is once again sponsored by the folks over at Audible. Now, as you guys know, it's a new year and it's a new me, and I've been working hard on getting that exercise in and eating right, and the folks over at Audible have been helping me quite a bit. Whenever I exercise, I'm now listening to something on Audible, and boy, does it make time pass. You forget how much you've exercised because you're so entertained. And hey, this is new since the last time we advertised Audible to you. Not only do you get access to one audiobook a month, but now you get access to 2 of these Audible originals. And if you're trying to lose weight like me, they also give you access to these exclusive audio fitness programs with your membership. Now, if you visited audible.com/BOOGIE, the book I am reading this month, and I would love it if you would read along with me, is Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. And the reason I chose Dr. Sleep is because it is a sequel to the Stephen King book, The Shining, which is the very first Stephen King book and the very first adult novel I ever read as a kid. Warner Brothers is making a movie version of Dr. Sleep, but I don't trust the movies to be as good as the book, so I figured I better get this book read before it comes out this year, and I hope you read it with me. So what are you waiting for? Go to audible.com/BOOGIE or text BOOGIE to 500 on your phone, and you'll get a free 30-day membership to Audible, and that includes 1 free audiobook and 2 free Audible originals. Now here's my favorite story of the week, and it involves EA, it involves microtransactions, it involves loot boxes, and it involves Belgium. And you guys remember we talked about Belgium passing laws that kept people from being able to sell loot boxes in their game? And EA swore that they would fight it, 2K swore they would fight it. Well, we finally saw EA cave. So if you haven't played FIFA 19, there's an Ultimate Team mode, and in that Ultimate Team mode, you open these booster packs that may or may not have the players you want. And of course, you can grind out that in-game currency, or you can bypass the grind and pull out your credit card and just buy that stuff. Last year when Belgium introduced its loot box ban, EA was defiant, and they said loot boxes were not a form of gambling and that its games were developed and implemented ethically and lawfully around the world, and they just absolutely refused to pull this practice out of their game. That, for those of you who don't remember, was also around the time we got that cute little letter from 2K Games urging its players to beg Belgium lawmakers to repeal that law because everybody loves loot boxes in Belgium, especially those players who are going broke buying them, right? Everybody loves that. But in a statement this week, the company admitted defeat, saying that after further discussion with the Belgian authorities, we've decided to stop offering FIFA points for sale in Belgium, which is probably the worst possible way to do it. 2K Games did the exact same thing as well. They made it impossible for you to purchase these points, but as you know and as I know, they designed these games to have an incredibly miserable grind, causing you hundreds of hours to get the team that you would otherwise want, to acquire the packs, to acquire that in-game currency, and of course it's going to make it a miserable experience for anybody playing these games in Belgium, and I'm sure EA and 2K loves that. EA's statement also included a few gems in it. They said, "We seek to bring choices, fairness, value, and fun to all our players in all our games. In addition to providing players options in how they play, we include pack probabilities in our games for the transparency players want to make informed content choices. While we are taking this action, we do not agree with the Belgian authorities' interpretation of the law, and we will continue to seek more clarity on the matter as we go forward." And this is the kicker. The impact of this change to FIFA Ultimate Team in Belgium is not material to our financial performance. If that sounds familiar to you, it should, because it sounds almost exactly like this comment on Reddit, the most downvoted comment on Reddit of all time from the EA community team. You remember this, right? The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. We offer player choice in the God, EA. But that final line where they said, "This will not impact our financial futures," I think that's just something in there for the stockholders. I do think it will. I do know the Belgian market is small, and if they had to do this overall, it would definitely impact their financial futures. But as it is right now, since the Belgian market is so small, it won't make a huge difference. But they have said in the past that they do make billions with the B from their microtransactions, and FIFA being one of the leaders of those microtransactions. So I definitely think if there was a bigger market they were forced to do this in, it would cripple them. In much happier news, Piranha Plant has now joined Smash Brothers, and the character is beloved online. So we've seen a lot of memes and a lot of people tweeting about it, and he's just a great character. But there's something about this business model I wanted to talk to you about, because I think people like Ed Boon over at Mortal Kombat and every other fighting game, this is a really good business model, and I think you should duplicate it. Piranha Plant is a free character downloadable by what Nintendo is calling early adopters, and that means if you pre-purchase the game or you purchased it within the first 2 months of the launch, you'll get this character for free, and if you didn't, then later you can pay $5 for this character, which is, I think, is a fine way to do it. I think this is a much better system than other people use. Take, for example, a game I'm very excited about, and that is Mortal Kombat 11. You have to pre-order Mortal Kombat 11 to get Shokan on the day that game launches. And it works like Mortal Kombat X did. If you wait till the day the game launches, if you wait for the reviews, or you wait a month afterwards, then you have to pay $4 or $5 for that character. That's how it worked with Mortal Kombat X and Goro. If you didn't pre-order, then you had to pay an extra $5 to get that character. But the way Nintendo did it, you were able to wait for the reviews, wait for the game to be out. If you couldn't afford to pre-order, if you couldn't afford to purchase it in the first week, you could wait in the first month and purchase it then and still get access to that incentive character. And I think both systems do incentivize you to buy the game either at launch or early, except Nintendo's system allows you to wait for the reviews. I think it shows a tremendous amount of confidence on Nintendo's side, and I wish that Ed Boon would follow. All right, that's going to do it for this roundup. Let me know what you think about these shorter bites in the comments section below. Instead of spamming you with 2 or 3 videos a day, I'd rather do one of these a week for the smaller stories and then just give you the big stories once a day. I like this system. Let me know if you guys like it too. While you're down there, check out that link for the description box below for Audible. Thank you again, Audible, for sponsoring this video. And guys, thank you for purchasing Audible and supporting me at the same time. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.